Let's speak now to the leader of the Brexit Party, Nigel Farage. He's in Tony Blair's old constituency of Sedgefield in the northeast of England. Nigel Farage, Kwasi Kwarteng says he doesn't want anything to do with your party. Is the electoral pact crashing on takeoff?
Well, Kwasi Kwarteng says that he doesn't want me part of government, but he's missing something. I don't want to be part of government. I'm not asking for anything in return whatsoever. What I am saying is that I'm somewhat disappointed that I offer a genuine hand of friendship and I say, come on, Boris Johnson, let's get the levers of this country united. Let's fight a general election because it's coming at some point before too long. Let's fight it together. Let's have a non-aggression pact. And if we do that, you will win a big, solid, safe majority. All I get is sort of, oh, Nigel Farage isn't suitable, blah, blah, blah. I'm not anything to do with this. I don't want to post. I don't want to be in their government. What I want is the 17.4 million people who voted for Brexit to get it delivered. And I think I'm offering a solution.
But the reply the Tories give you to that is you're not fit and proper. Neither is Aaron Banks, your great mate. The PM's chief advisor, Dominic Cummings, seems to regard you as cretins. At least that's what you think he regards you as.
Yeah.
If that's what they think, it's a funny way to woo you. It's not exactly an attempt to get engaged, is it?
No, it was petty, tribal, party politics. And I'm asking, begging, whoever put that statement out, can't we rise above that? Can't we see that actually, if we get a Labour government, we're not going to get a meaningful Brexit of any kind at all? This is a big chance to unite the Leave vote. And, I've said I reckon Boris could get a majority of 60 to 100. John Curtis independently says it'd be at least 40. We've got a solution here. The country's crying out for a resolution. We want to get Brexit, get a clean Brexit, get it over the line, and then we can move on with the rest of our lives.
Right, but maybe the Tories just regard you as too toxic a figure to be in an alliance with. That whatever votes you might gain them in the north, they're going to lose in the south. They just don't want to be seen on the same ticket as you.
There is no evidence to support that whatsoever. Whilst it is true that Lib Dem voters and revokers of Article 50 have me as a reviled figure, none of them would vote for two parties working together in that pact anyway. And also, the inaccuracy of it. Aaron Banks is not part of the Brexit Party. They even managed to misspell his name in the press release. And I was struck with the tone of what was briefed out today from the Conservative government. They appear to be somewhat in the bunker and perhaps not thinking straight.
You've been highly critical of this current Parliament. You call it a Remain Parliament. If you split the Brexit vote in the next election, we could end up with another Remain Parliament and you would be responsible for it.
Well, we've seen the split in that vote already. We saw it in Peterborough, where, of course, the Brexit Party were the challengers to Jeremy Corbyn's Labour. Corbyn won the Peterborough by-election with 31%. We got 29.5%.
You're making my point, Mr.
Conservatives
Farage.
got 21%.
You can deliver.
I know, exactly.
You can deliver a Remain Parliament.
I am making your point precisely. If the Conservatives recognise that the world has moved on, that politics in this country is realigning, people identify now as being Leave or Remain before, in most cases, being Labour or Conservative. If the Conservatives split the vote where we're the challengers to Labour, and if we in return were to split their vote in places they're the challengers, then the Brexit side will end up the loser. So let's grow up. Let's put petty party politics aside. Let's get on. Let's form a non-aggression pact and let's win the next election.
Of course, you don't really need a formal deal, do you? You could just concentrate, for example, on Labour seats that the Tories are never going to win, but you might. You don't need a pact.
I think the truth of it is, if the Conservatives, as they did in Peterborough, put up a paper candidate that will prevent us from winning in many of the seats where we're the key challenger. Look, it just doesn't make sense. The world has moved on. We're in the biggest political crisis any of us have known in our lives. We have an election, I think, coming up before Christmas, and I'm trying to offer a solution, to offer a way out, to give Boris Johnson a chance to win a big majority, to deliver Brexit, to defeat Corbyn and to be a hero. Strikes me it's a pretty good deal. And even if some junior press officer sends off a negative response, I think it's something in time they'll want to think about. In the end, as with many things in life, politics is about numbers.
Okay.
And our support and the Conservative support together would be unstoppable.
I got that point. It's just we're trying to work out how it could happen. But you said today's ruling by the Court of Session in Edinburgh, quote, smells of judicial interference. Is it now your default position that whenever judges rule in a way you don't like, it's interference?
Look, I just think this. You know, we don't have a written constitution. We have no precedent. There is nothing by which judges can actually refer back to make these rules. We have the High Court in London says it's okay. The Court of Session in Edinburgh says it's not okay.
So the London judges were they were good judges in your view. Judges are now good or bad depending on how they side with you.
Look, the whole thing's a mess. Whether it's the courts being asked to be involved, whether it's Parliament blocking a general election, stopping us leaving on the 31st of October, the whole thing's a mess. It's a disaster. And I don't think Westminster even understands how people in constituencies like here in Sedgefield feel about politics, feel about the fact that a democratic vote is not being delivered. We can end all of this, we can end all of it by having a non-aggression pact and getting Boris Johnson back with a clear majority. It's there. I've made the offer. I hope in time they'll think about it.
But it doesn't seem that it's so much a mess, in your view, as judicial interference. These are your words. Do you accept or don't you that these senior Scottish judges have taken an independent and impartial decision?
I don't accept that the establishment of this country is independent. It is remain almost to the last man and woman. That is where we are, and we see this right through government, right through the judiciary. That's where we are.
So they're not independent.
And we've had this massive attempt.
They're not independent and they're not impartial, in your view.
We have had. I raised a question. That's all I did. I'm saying this. The establishment.
No, you didn't raise a question, Mr. Farage. You said it smells to me of judicial interference. That's not a question, it's a statement.
Well, it smells to me means I don't know, but I suspect and I'm concerned. But as I say, we're all missing the big point. Because of a lack of losers' consent after the 2016 referendum, we are now in a major crisis. We've been reduced to a laughingstock around the world. Investment in this country is stopping because no one knows where we're actually going, and they want resolution. I want resolution. Now, 22 weeks ago, I set up the Brexit Party. We've made big strides. Despite everything Boris has tried to say, he cannot get our support back down below 14 or 15%. If we go past the 31st of October and we haven't left the European Union, you will see our support significantly higher. The only way the Conservatives can get a majority is to come to some form of accommodation with me.
All right.
They haven't got to like me.
I have to stop you there, Mr. Farage.
They haven't got to offer me anything.
We're running out of time. I hope you'll come into the studio. We can have a longer, more forensic interview with some more time in the weeks ahead. Thank you for that. That's all from us for tonight.